Hi, I'm Mike, owner of The In-Groove in Phoenix, Arizona. Today I'm doing the new arrival video for May 20th, 2022. This is not only a pretty solid new arrival video, but holy cow, have there been some killer announcements this week. So here we go. This is the pre-order list. A lot of pre-orders, and I've got some news. Then I've got the new arrivals for this week. Then I've got a couple analog restocks. First bit of big news is Smashing Pumpkins' Melancholy in the Infinite Sadness. We have monstrous quantities coming of those. They should be in here in the store, I want to say Friday from what the tracking is showing. Go onto the website, find the item, click notify me when in stock. I recommend text message. Sometimes emails go to spam. And you will get an email or a text message the minute it goes on the website. A few other places have gotten it. From what I heard, it's sold out everywhere. But if you do the restock notification, you are probably going to get it from me. I have a huge quantity of those coming in. I knew it would be popular. I did a shootout of it, and it came out on top. It's one of my only shootouts where there was only two versions to compare from, but I love that album so much, I did it anyways. But also, it was a $250 record, but 2.5 weeks ago. So, a lot of demand for it. Biggest audiophile news maybe of all time. I figured I'd mention it once more. I did a video on it earlier in the week. Mobile Fidelity has announced a 33 RPM version of Michael Jackson's Thriller as a one-step. Limited to only 40,000, which I know a lot of people are like mind-boggled. 40,000, 40,000. I was reading the original numbers. Back in its heyday, it sold 27 million copies on vinyl. 27 million copies. 40,000. Granted, it's not 1980, mid-80s anymore. 40,000, guys, for an album that's a smash hit like that, come on. That is not a lot of records. It is going to sell out. I've got it up for pre-order, and the pre-order is moving very briskly. It's not going to be for pre-order for long. So 40,000. It's also really probably the debut of their 33 RPM one-steps. So all of the Mobile Fidelity one-steps so far have been 45 RPM. This is at 33 RPM. They've announced other titles that they're going to do at 33 RPM, but they've never put a date to any of those. One of the things that's unique about this is they've actually put a specific date on the vinyl anyways. November 18th. The SACD, which they're also doing, has a to be announced. But as far as the vinyl, we've got November 18th. So I'm excited about that. That's one of those albums that was recorded exceptionally well to begin with. I mean, it really, truly was. Awesome record. I really think a lot can actually be done with that, though. I think if they throw some more dynamic range in there, which I'm sure are on the tapes, I have a feeling that has the potential to be a killer, Abraxas sounding like, one step. I mean, top of the heap. So looking forward to that. Eric Clapton's Unplugged Mobile Fidelity one step. I haven't put it up for pre-order because that was a title that was a little bit wonky as far as allocation goes. So I never did a pre-order for that, and I still don't have a pre-order for it. It's sold out everywhere. But I do have a decent amount of them coming on probably Friday, maybe the beginning of the week. I'll put it on the website when it comes. I'm not going to do a pre-order on it. Also, they announced a Rolling Stones 7-inch box set. This is 1845, so it's a 7-inch singles box set. That's coming out June 10th. This is kind of exciting for me. I don't know how many other people think this is exciting. This is not really your typical audiophile record, but you guys know in a live stream, I approached Chad at Analog Productions and asked him specifically to do some Alice Coltrane, some more avant-garde impulse titles. He wasn't very enthusiastic about it, but they've announced Pharoah Sanders' Karma as part of that Verve series title. All analog. I want to say this one was done by Ryan Smith. It's coming out November 11th. Really looking forward to that. Extremely difficult album to get. I don't know if I've ever had one. Maybe one or two in some of these major collections have come in the last couple of years, but it is not a very easy album to get. So I'm looking forward to that. That is on the website for pre-order. Two Who half-speed titles were just announced. Tommy and the Who Sell Out coming July 18th. They've been pretty popular so far, the Who reissues. Tommy, I don't think is a title that I've had. I don't know if that's been in print a while. I don't think I've had it in the bin in some time now. So I'm thinking Tommy will be pretty popular. Here's one that slipped under, I think, everybody's radar. Nobody's talking about it. The Staple Singers, Respect Yourself. Just a normal reissue, right? But all the verbiage is it's all analog, cut directly from the master tape by Jeff Powell. It's 100% analog reissue. That is an unbelievable sounding master tape. The Tape Project did it, and I've heard it in the past. That's a killer recording, and I really have high hopes. That could be a dynamite audiophile reissue. And it's, I think, mid-$20. So really looking forward to that. That's a fantastic album. If you're not familiar with it, preview it. R&B albums that are done in an audiophile manner tend to be some of the best sounding records in my collection. The bass that is brought out with modern mastering, the dynamic range that was never really prevalent on the originals, is quite nice. ABBA's doing a entire career box set, so it's going to be all 9 albums. That comes out May 27th. That was originally scheduled for June, but they moved it forward. That's the only time I've ever gotten an email where they've moved something forward. I had to double check that. I'm like, did they move that 2 weeks forward a year from now? No, it was actually 2 weeks forward. So yeah, this one is not a title I would normally do a pre-order on, but I've gotten asked about it enough, and I'm not really sure how to approach ordering this because it's a title that sells really well locally. I don't know how well it would do online, but I figured I'd put it up for pre-order to kind of get a little bit of a gauge. Kanye West, Donda. It's a 4 LP set. Yeah, that comes out June 24th. So I know it'll sell well in the store. Hip-hop actually does really, really well at this location and the last location. I do well with it. It's not a huge amount of records. I mean, I've got 7 rows of it over there, but it's constantly pretty well picked clean. It does well. So I'll give you guys a little bit of a heads up. Got an email from the manufacturer of the Cranberries. Everybody else is doing it, so why can't we on Analog Spark? That has now gone to deleted status, meaning it will not come back. It's on my top 100 in-print analog records you should own list. I've got a small amount of them. If you do not have it in your collection, now would be the time. It is absolutely fantastic. It is not that expensive. It is all analog, and it sounds killer. And it's out of print. There you go. Let's look at this week's new arrivals. Here's another dynamite sounding record that I have not had in a year, 2 years. It's been a long time. Coltrane Plays the Blues, 100% all analog, cut by Bernie Grunman, 45 RPM, dual disc from ORG. Fantastic sounding record, really good. This is the numbered edition. I think they were going to do 3, 4, 5,000, something in that range. This is number 2245. New album from Blue Note, Gregory Porter's Water. Pretty sure the album itself was released last year, but the vinyl, came out a little bit later. This is a title that, oh man, was supposed to be here a while ago. I got such a small amount of them, and now I finally got more to cover everybody's orders and show you guys I've got some extras. Blink-182's greatest hits. I really, for the life of me, don't know why we don't have more Blink-182 in print. And actually, this album is difficult to get now, but yeah. So it goes. The Rolling Stones, El Mocambo, 1977. I talked about this a little bit. I did not hear it until this past Friday. Holy cow, this is, the Stones have done a lot of these Vault series releases where they've released vintage concerts. A lot of them are more from the modern era, and it's like, I love the Stones. I've seen the Rolling Stones since the first time I've seen them was the No Security Tour in 1999. I want to say I've seen them 15, 16 times. I don't know if I've seen, other than Prince, a better live band. But holy cow, this is an absolutely amazing concert. The set list is killer. They're playing 100% on point, musically, vocally, track-wise. This is one of the best live Vault releases that they've done so far. This is really, really killer, man. I can't recommend this enough. We listened to this 5 times over the weekend. No exaggeration. And it's not, this is a 4-disc set. It was pretty much this for the entire weekend. And I was listening to it in the front of the store. I went in the back of the store, and they were listening to it back there because they heard me listening to it, liked it so much that they started listening to it. So really good. This might have been a short printed title as well, too, because nobody has this right now. None of my distributors really look like they have this to order. And from what the manufacturer said is there's none on the horizon as far as, on their way to them. New this week, Art Blakey and the Jazz Messengers with Thelonious Monk, 2LP Deluxe Edition. So this is essentially the album on disc 1, and then you've got a outtakes disc. This just came in hours ago. I do not know how this sounds, but this is a fantastic album. It says remastered from the original mono tapes with a whole extra disc of outtakes, most of them previously unreleased. Booklet features liner notes, photos. Looks pretty cool. Love Art Blakey, my favorite drummer in any genre. Here is another one from the same, looks like same series because it has the same hype sticker, price is the same, configuration is the same. John Coltrane's My Favorite Things. What's unique about this is kind of cool. Original mono and stereo album. So it's a double disc, but you don't have outtakes on this one. Disc 1 is the stereo mix. Disc 2 is the mono mix. 180 gram vinyl. Liner notes, newly remastered, right? Doesn't say newly remastered. Original mono and stereo albums remastered. I don't know if that was newly remastered, but yeah. New Van Morrison. What's it gonna take? Thinking there's some symbolism here going on with this cover. I'll have to look into that. I'm curious now. He's gotten very political, him and Clapton, in the last couple of albums. Got a little puppeteer milking two, marionette and two people running. What's it gonna take? I actually listened to that, and I'm not a Van Morrison fan per se. I mean, I like some of his hits. I love his stuff with them, but I actually thought the last album was pretty good. I really enjoyed it. Musically, it was enjoyable. Chet Baker, Cool Cat. This is Tidal Waves Music, North American Clear Vinyl Edition, remastered for the first time in North America. First ever vinyl reissue, limited to 500 copies. Well, that's not very many copies. So, yeah. They've done the Art Blakey's Chippin' In, pretty popular title. Eastern Rebellion. I've had some stuff from them in the past. All right, T-Rex, Electric Warrior, Half-Speed Master. All right, we've got The New Jazz is Dead, Volume 10. Remixes. Great series. I recommend pretty much every title in that series. They're all really good. Miss Kitty's Lounge. This is a new album by Widespread Panic. I think it's the new album, right? Check it out. Yeah, what does it say there? Featuring previously unreleased demos recorded in 1990. Okay, so this is the new album. We've got, 32-year-old music. Johnny Cash with his Hot and Blue Guitar. Iconic Sun record. This is an ORG pressing. The first ever LP released on Sun Records, featuring I Walk the Line. Jason Isbell in the 400 unit. Frontline Assembly, Disorder. On Splatter Vinyl. Black and like a red splatter. Fear Factory, Aggression Continuum. Pressed on red and light blue swirl vinyl with black splatter. Limited to 1,000 copies. Death Cab for Cutie. This is a double live, 180 gram, limited edition, blue splatter, white vinyl. All right. Looking forward to this. I'm kind of not really sure how this is going to sound, but typically every Neil Young record sounds fantastic. Neil Young, Citizen Kane Jr. Blues, solo acoustic concert at the bottom line, 1974. Sure, this is great. Vinyl mastered by Chris Bellman and Bernie Grunman. He does a lot of concerts from the original analog tape, which is pretty unheard of. Most artists that are releasing concerts will typically still use digital. Albums, even if they're a proponent of analog, they'll do their albums analog, but they do the concerts digitally because it's just so easy to clean it up. But Neil does a lot of albums from analog tape. There's been a couple that have been digital because they were recorded digital, or maybe the tape wasn't in good enough shape. But yeah, I'll have to check that one out. So I'm guessing maybe this is the beginning of this, but you remember Ozzy Osbourne had that box set. I did an unboxing of it years ago. Fantastic box set. Everyone was autographed. They're out of print and they're almost $2,000 a piece. But they're reissuing Black Rain from inside the box. This is a black vinyl version. Everything in the box set was splatter wax. But maybe they'll release a lot of those other albums from the box set. So far we've got Black Rain and we've got No More Tears. But we got to get the rest of his catalog in print. Fantastic record. Robert Palmer, Sneakin' Sally Through the Alley. Great record. I love Robert Palmer. This is a Friday Music reissue. I think one is blue and one is green, but it's two separate variants. The only thing that identifies them is this little tiny sticker on the bottom. Lime green, and I want to say this one is blue. But it's funny. I used to have a guy for years that would come into the store. He was a regular. He'd come in like once a week. And he was always looking for a clean, he'd buy other things. But every week, hey Mike, you got a clean copy of Sneakin' Sally Through the Alley? No. Why don't they reissue that damn album? That album needs to be in print. And then next week, we'd have the same conversation. Hadn't seen him in 6 months, and then they announced a reissue of it. So, yeah. That's how it goes. Septic Flesh, Modern Primitive from Nuclear Blast. Transparent brown and black marbled vinyl. They're limited to 1,500. Volbeat, glow-in-the-dark vinyl. Rock the Rebel, Metal the Devil. This is kind of cool. So Police Around the World. I think this is kind of a companion to the Record Store Day stuff that came out. Limited edition LP, first time available. Limited edition DVD plus LP. First time available on DVD, restored and remastered video and audio from the Police's documentary of their first world tour. No, actually this isn't. This is earlier than that. Maybe that first, they did a Record Store Day release where there was 2 discs, and I think the first disc was from maybe this tour. But this is cool because it says includes 9 tracks previously unavailable on LP. So you got 9 tracks on LP, but then you've got a larger concert. Where's that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, about roughly counting around 18 to 20 tracks on the DVD. So it's like, you know, premium Police years. I actually got a chance to see the Police. It was a reunion like 2006. They did a little mini tour. And that was an absolutely killer concert. I wish they'd tour again. It was such a good show. But yeah, this looks pretty good. I'm going to pick that up. Suicidal Tendencies. What is the name of this? Controlled by Hatred and Feel Like Shit. Deja Vu. This is indie exclusive Fruit Punch vinyl. And we have the same album on black vinyl. Both ways. Reissuing some more Reverend Horton Heat. Did another title. I forget the name of the title they did last week or the week before. High Pulp. Pursuit of Ends. Limited edition colored vinyl. This is Opaque Tan. Canned Heat, Heated Blues. On Splatterwax. Bad Wolves. Dear Monsters. Red vinyl with etching featuring a Lifeline. Feels like a double disc, so I'm guessing it's, yeah. Side A, B, and C, and then side D is the etching. All right, last of the new arrivals, and then I'll show you the analog restocks that I got. It seems like Universal's starting to put out a lot more restocks, which is kind of cool. So here's Hope for Chet Baker Sings, which everybody asks me about all the time. Bob Marley, Sun is Shining Forever on red, yellow, and green haze vinyl. What's it say there? Yeah. Okay, so a couple of restocks. One from the Verve series, actually. Three from the Verve series. All analog. Mingus, 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 Mingus. So 5 Mingai. Ray Charles, Genius Plus Soul. Great killer record. I mean, Kevin Gray did this. Sounds dynamite. This is such an iconic record. It's so good. Every time I play this in the store, people buy this. It is one of those records. John Coltrane's Ballads. I know this kind of dried up for a while. Nobody had it. All analog. And then I got some more of the classic / 80th series titles. One of the best albums, in my opinion, on Blue Note. Cool Struttin' by Sonny Clark. Fantastic record. Jackie McLean's on that. Meet You at the Jazz Corner of the World. Art Blakey and the Jazz Messengers. This is volume 2. There's a volume 1 for it as well. Don Cherry, Where is Brooklyn? These are all analog, cut from the original master tape by Kevin Gray and or Dynamite. It's funny, in the old, I remember 5, 6, 7, 8 years, you would hear everybody say, I don't want any reissues. The originals are better. The originals are better. But boy, with these series now, nobody says that. Everybody says, you know, the big jazz guys that come in, oh, I'll save my original and I'll use this as my play copy, which I play them both personally. But yeah, Eric Dolphy's Out to Lunch, another iconic record. Fantastic cover as well. Dexter Gordon's Go with Sonny Clark. This is another one of my favorite Blue Note titles. This actually was a title that I listened to a little bit in the past, but not much. But when it came out, I really been listening to this a lot. Lee Morgan's Carumba. Fantastic record. And really, although it's a later record for him, not really easy to find. And we got a restock of Freddie Hubbard's Ready for Freddie. So yeah, you can get all of this stuff online at our website, assuming we do not sell out, which happens, at theingroove.com. All right, guys. A lot of stuff going on this week. Until next time.